Okay, David. We've been on the road for a year now. We left Baltimore, Maryland, a year ago.
A year to the day.
A year today. 1 year today.
So we thought we'd do a few questions that people might have for us about our travels. I'll start with a simple one. How do you search for your next site to camp, Jacob?
If we're going to a new area, we usually we'll pay for a site at like a hip camp or something like that. It's just somewhere where we could have a little more privacy instead of a developed campground, because we usually like to stay out in the woods. So if we could find a little spot where we could plug in, have a little bit of amenities for a day or two, and then I'll go look for a spot in the mountains. I'll drop the trailer, drive around, look for all the things that we need for like our camp preferences, like our ability to have Starlink internet for David's work, which means we have to have a clear view of sky, so we can't just be in the woods. So we have to look for stuff like that. We also have to think about road conditions for the trailer. If we were just in the truck, it'd be a whole different situation.
Next question. What are essentials for your camping setup? That depends on what's around. Often it's what's available. We frequently get picnic tables at our sites. We're always looking for a little bit of shade. Open skies, as Jacob said, is very important for my job with Starlink. Starlink has been super reliable, but there have been some issues where we've been in a clearing inside of a forest. We've done lots of forest camping, so there have been a few spotty places.
Yeah, we primarily disperse.
All right, what are your top 3 favorite camping places that you've been to in the past year?
The Redwoods, Mount Hood area, and Cape Horn, I think.
You also said Road is Joy.
Yeah, that's the Cape Horn area. That's
Yeah.
the hip camp that we stayed at.
Yeah, that was great. So for me, my top 3 would have been Coos Bay, Oregon. We went there for my birthday. And then I'd say the Tetons here. I have really loved hiking here in the Tetons. And the Redwoods, for sure, hands down. Jacob, what have been your top 3 favorite hikes?
I really like the Timberline Trail that we did at Mount Hood for my birthday. And then I also like doing like coastal hikes from the Redwoods down to like the actual coast, see the ocean, and then Crater Lake down to the water to swim in. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, swimming was pretty great. So for me, I'd say the Tetons. I went to Delta Lake and Amphitheater one day, but doing the Cascade Canyon was probably one of my favorite with fantastic views. The Narrows at Zion was also spectacular. We rented the shoes and that really helped. And then the Redwoods on the coast. The Redwoods were just amazing. Jacob, do you have any funny stories to share?
Yeah, I've witnessed a lot of women pissing. And each time it happens, it like takes me a moment to realize that I just witnessed a woman pissing, you know? Like there was one girl, one lady, woman, person, not a girl, a woman, a full grown woman that decided to pee in this spot right off the trail, coochie out, just squatting there. People were just walking by. And then I remember she made eye contact with us. It was uncomfortable. And then another time was just a girl squatting in her bathing suit in the river. And it was like just below a waterfall. So it like that was a lot of like a touristy area. There was a lot of people there. She was just squatting in her. I was like, that's a woman squatting to piss right there. And then another time was
Gas station.
We were parked somewhere at like a little overlook area, and she was on her paddleboard in the river below us, and she got off her paddleboard to put her body in, like barely squatted, like didn't even have the respect to like full dip, barely squat. The water was deep. Okay, you could have squatted, lady. You should have squatted, actually. Most recently, there was a girl here in the Tetons, a woman, another full-grown woman. This one was a woman. Like she was up there in the ages, and she just squatted across the river from me, not even behind a tree. It's horrifying out here sometimes.
How off grid are you, Jacob?
Mostly off grid. We have a solar generator that is able to pull power from regular AC stuff, solar charged by the truck. But we also have 3 solar panels, 2 that are 200 watts, and the other one is like 250 watts, I think. So we get plenty of power most of the time, unless we're like in a weathery spot or we're in like a fairly tree dense place, then it's hard to get sun. In those cases, we have a backup generator inverter situation that we could just plug into and charge us up pretty quickly and easily. But we primarily rely on solar.
How long do you stay when you camp places?
As long as we are able to. When we were at Mount Shasta, it said only 7 days, but in most national forest areas, it's going to be 14 days. So if we could stay for 14 days, we'll stay for 14 days.
And we really like that because we no longer have to rush from place to place. So I could do long hikes in the Tetons and then have some recovery time in between to go to the next long hike.
Yeah.
It really lets you get settled in a spot. Where next?
Where next? We're going to New Mexico because we have to repair our axle, and we're like kind of directly north of it, honestly. So we're going to go there, see my mom's new house. They just purchased a new house, and we're going to get our axle fixed on the trailer, assuming we make it there on time before the axle breaks. So,
Hey, I have another question.
yeah,
Do you bathe?
of course, we bathe. We're in the Tetons right now, so we've been taking advantage of the $5 showers at the facility here. But in most cases, one of the reasons that we like a spot with privacy instead of like a traditional campground is because we have a portable shower that all we need to do is just heat up water on the fire. And that's what we do. So, and that's how we primarily bathe. And it's a lot of fun. We do it naked outside.
I've had a bald eagle fly right over my head as I was showering. That was pretty incredible.
Naked.
Yep. What are some life lessons that you've learned along the way?
That I can do anything I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm going to do it when I want to do it.
Put your mind to it and you can do it.
Yep.
One of the things for me has been the cycle of water, the cycle of the seasons, and the cycle of life and death, and how that replenishes the land around here.
The mountains are creating a really cool silhouette.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty.
either that or all the blood that was in my head is in my arm to keep the phone up.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Share a Hecate memory.
Oh, my favorite memory with her so far, one of my favorites, is when we were in the Mount Hood area. And every once in a while, she gets the zoomies and she wants to run on trail. And I'm always believed that instead of training a dog not to pull, you just go their speed. And she just likes to start running every once in a while. But this particular time we were running, and the trail had a whole bunch of like down branches and rocks and stuff. And it was fun to just run and jump over things with her, and like giving her the cue to, hey, jump now, and she would just jump. And it was just really exciting and fun. So really grounding.
Some of my favorite memories are she's my first good morning every morning. As soon as I wake up, she'll pop her head out of her den and say hi to me too, and she'll want some cuddles. But I especially loved when she was a puppy, and Jacob made a little sack to carry her in, and we took her on some of our hikes. And she did a good job with her little puppy legs because she was a little one, but we definitely carried her around. What type of wildlife do you see?
The usual: elk, bear, deer, rabbits, squirrels, birds, eagles,
Ravens, ospreys,
ravens,
moose.
crows. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of wildlife this year. Any creature comforts you miss?
Yeah, being alone. Plumbing primarily just to take endless hot showers. I know it's bad for the environment, but I miss it.
You also miss gardening too.
Oh yeah, I miss gardening too. The two types. Oh, actually, I don't miss one of them because I still do it.
Well, I miss a comfy couch, a big comfy couch, and having a real comfortable work desk to sit at. Do you have any goals for next year?
Possibly working at a retreat or something on the road somewhere, a wellness center, a retreat. I don't know. I
Yeah.
also want to start backpacking because sometimes finding certain camp spots takes you out like kind of a little far to where it's even far to like get to certain trails. So I want to do a lot of backpacking during the week while David's working.
I'd be jealous of that because
Yeah.
I'd want to do that too, but that's difficult to do with Hecate around.
Okay, what's your goal?
I want to spend more time hiking, doing longer trails, getting longer miles.
Awesome. Any final thoughts?
How many states have we been to, and what are some stats for us? So we visited about 10 states, and we've been through about 30 states on our drives. We've put about 40,000 miles on the truck so far, and about 3,700 miles on the camper on our drives. And that's it. That's been our year in review. We've had a really good time traveling. We've really loved it. I'm so glad that we're here at the Tetons again, closing out our summer before we begin traveling to the East Coast, where we'll be at the end of the year.
Yep. Okay, that's all. Bye.